Back on Trojans Live, the Women's Spotlight is brought to you by Sprouts Farmers Market, open 7 days a week. Visit your neighborhood Sprouts for good-for-you groceries and great prices on the freshest produce. Jordan Moore, Sean, Cody, Max Brown, and Jane Alukonis, the second-year head coach of USC Women's Soccer, joins us again. A 4-2 start through non-conference play. You head to Utah this week to begin the league schedule. How do you feel about your team going into league?
I love this team, the group of players that we have this year, just each and every one of them, amazing soccer players, high soccer IQ, very smart, hardworking young ladies. So each day with them, I'm really grateful. Going into conference, it'll be a fun soccer playing match against Utah. Utah is really good, so we come out and we'll give them the best game that we possibly can. But I feel really good about each and every player on our roster.
Coach, year two under your belt here. How do you compare year one versus year two as trying to install your culture and getting that all rolling? How's year two going?
Even just you guys saying year two, I'm like, yes. It's been awesome. Like, number one thing is to have a good staff around you, and I love my staff. So just being able to roll out each and every day a little more of how we want to play, who we want to be, making sure that practice is a highly competitive environment and living out like exactly who we want to be. So it's been awesome year two.
What'd you learn from year one that you're taking into year two, or did anything surprise you from that first year?
Everything, honestly. Get organized, always have time for players, always have the door open, and just work as hard as you possibly can, because you get one shot at the season, and you just want to present the best that you possibly can for the team, for the university, and for ourselves too, just to know that we gave it our best every day.
One cool thing I like about soccer, I don't know if you knew this, Sean, but in soccer, when you play your former team, unless you had some animosity, and you score a goal on them, you don't celebrate.
Okay.
So it would be like
that's a thing.
So it would be like if you playing for the Texans.
Yeah, big
if you were
play.
to get a sack against the Lions,
I would just calmly walk back.
Exactly.
Okay. That wouldn't happen.
That wouldn't happen.
No.
In your case,
Take my
I
jersey off.
I only bring this up, Coach, because you had a very unique experience. Must have been an emotional experience for you. You go back to Duke. You know that's your alma mater. Your mentor's still there. You beat them in their house. You get this incredible top 5 win. What was that like for you emotionally going through all that?
Yeah, I'm a really proud Dookie, and what Robbie's done with the program is amazing. When I was there, we were good, but now they're always top 5, top 10. Robbie being my coach, I think, was what made it really emotional. We're super close. I think he calls me about once a week. He's been there for me through good times, bad times, everything in between, he and his wife. And so that was a hard one, but I told him the best way to honor him was to give him a good game. We went to breakfast together and spent a lot of time together when I was there. So I was proud and grateful that the team gave Robbie a good game and left it all out on the field that night.
Coach, getting into conference play, and how important is it for you to get off to a good start in conference play so you can kind of meet the goals that your team wants to meet later on in the season?
Especially this year, since it's the last year of Pac-12,
Yep.
Our goal is to win the conference. So going in and starting out strong is super important, because you learn sometimes you don't get games back. So we have to come out with a bang and outwork every opponent as best we can. But yeah, Pac-12 is highly competitive, and I know everyone, this being the last year, really wants that ring. So we're going to go for it.
Yeah, and looking ahead to the future, going to the Big Ten, and you have an exciting new stadium in the works as well. Both those factors, how does that change just the outlook of the program moving forward and your day-to-day as well?
Yeah, we say here we want the most professional soccer environment that we can present, and now we can back it up with a stadium and with a wonderful conference. So I think each day when we talk to recruits or talk to our own players, we say that we want to give you the best soccer development that we possibly can, and now we have conference and an arena to back it up with.
You beat Michigan and Purdue already this season. That in the back of your mind a little bit, just letting the new conference know we'll be there?
Yeah, it's kind of funny because those were just already scheduled
Yeah.
games before we knew. And I scheduled with Erwin, also one of my mentors at Indiana, and now we're like, okay, we got to scratch these games. There's been a lot of changes in schedules, but
Just a little
definitely,
bit.
yeah.
Just a few changes.
And I wanted to ask you about Maribel Flores. She wins Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week this week. Just a freshman that's hit the ground running. What did you see in recruiting that led you to believe, or when she got here, that she could be this impactful immediately?
Yeah, so I saw Mary probably 4 years ago, back when I was at the other school. And yeah,
Soccer recruits so early.
yeah, and she scored 2 goals, and it was just a random scrimmage. And she was probably one of the smaller players on the pitch. And I said, well, she had a really good day. And then fast forward when I got the job here, it happened multiple times where I saw her in person and I said, who's that kid? And grabbed the brochure, and she actually was formerly committed elsewhere. And I was like, dang, it's Maribel Flores, she's committed. And then I turned on the TV one day and it was U17 World Cup, and it's like, who's that player? She's really good. Oh, it's Maribel Flores, she's committed. But then she decommitted, and we had a chance to go after her. And so it was a player that we felt we must get here. And she combines well with others. Her coach told me just scores in the clutch moments, which we saw against Duke, a really, really tough finish that she put in, a header. So just amazing soccer player that connects well.
We hear from coaches. Every coach kind of has their own little style and how they interact with the team. Are you the kind of coach that is kind of you watch from afar? You look like you can still get out there on the pitch and mix it up with the team. Or what's your kind of coaching style when you're out there?
Yeah, I think, well, I come from a teaching background. That was my first job out of college. So we do a lot of work in the classroom. We do a lot of work in film. But I would say I'm not someone that wants to scream and yell at players. My belief is they need to come out and bring their best every single day. And do we tell them when the standards are not there? Yes. But definitely, like, along with my staff, very cerebral and just looking at the game more at an analytical view. But we like to play soccer, and we also like to keep the attacking firepower that SC's always had. So, yeah, dominate as much as
you still bend one in there, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, the women of Troy hit the road this week. Women's soccer headed to Salt Lake to take on Utah. Good to get them early on in the season. Don't need to be playing any snow games late in the campaign. That'll be a good one. But big matches to come still on campus. So get to usctrojans.com and you can see their schedule and secure your tickets for that. Thank you, Coach, for joining us. Don't wait until game time to plan for retirement. Open your free iTrust Capital account today and get your crypto IRA. iTrust Capital is the official cryptocurrency platform of the USC Trojans. And my Smart and Final. Want the inside scoop on this game and all things Trojans? Be sure to sign up for the 3 Torches presented by Smart and Final. It's a free newsletter that'll hit your email inbox 3 times a week with game info, player insights, and more. Go to usctrojans.com/3 Torches and sign up. Keely, your and our weekly football roundtable is next.